these can be myths, they can be truths, they can be lies, it can, you just never know. And lo and behold, I will not tell you a lie.
Deep in the mountains of western North Carolina, at the foothills of Great Smoky Mountain National Park, lies one of the deepest lakes in the United States of America, Fontana Lake. Fontana Lake's max depth is 440 feet. The dam stands nearly 500 feet tall. There are three major rivers that flow into Fontana Lake: the Nantahala River, the Little Tennessee, and the Tuckasegee River. The water is crystal blue and a beacon for stunning scenery and remote solitude. The lake is rich with Native American history and history that changed the world. Fontana Dam was constructed in 1942, built to support the Oppenheimer's Manhattan Project, which led to the first and second atomic bomb. Purely because of its depths, Fontana Lake holds the most volume of any reservoir in the Tennessee River chain, flowing all the way to the Mississippi. With an average depth of 150 feet, Fontana qualifies as the most mysterious lake, part of the Tennessee River. The lake is filled with a ton of nutrients and has a ton of bait fish species and sport fish that anglers far and wide seek to catch. But here, in the depths of the unknown, lies a legend bigger than anything you've ever dreamed.
Yeah, my name's Dewey Tolley. I've heard about the big catfish in Fontana all my life. They said when the divers went down to repair the dam, they was afraid of it, afraid it'd swallow them, so they come right back up. They didn't stay down.
I've lived here pretty much all my life, born and raised here. We have catfish in Fontana Dam that are as big as doodlebugs, skin divers said that's been down there. There's a store that sits on the side of Fontana Lake that has pictures of them in it, with them having tow trucks backed up with the cables off the side of the dam.
Yes, I have heard about the fish. Legendary catfish, yes. Big as a Volkswagen.
I know in Fontana that whenever the divers went down to check the dam, they do go down in shark cages. I do know that for a fact because I've seen the cages down. People says they're as big as cars. I know I've seen pictures of some that it took like 5 people to hold it.
I am live with Zach Hicks, former tournament partner who has epic insight on this legend. So Zach, give me everything you know.
Growing up, used to camp all the time down at the lake, and pass the time of the evenings, we would jug fish, chalk lines, whatever, before all the regulations are what they are now, but we would throw out, cut bait, whatever, and watch them. And as a kid, it's like the movie Jaws. You'd see the barrel go flying down the lake, and it was awesome to chase it down and pick it up. Well, every once in a while, when you'd finally catch up to it and go to pick it up, it was a lot more than you could hold being a adolescent teen. So we got some really, really big cats back in the day. I hadn't done it in a very long time, but they're a lot bigger than you would think.
I remember you telling me a story about you had like 50-pound test on, and you went to lift the jug out of the water, and it broke the 50-pound test, and then you went back like that week or something and doubled up the 50-pound test to to make it like 100-pound, and it broke. Am I recall?
Yeah, spider wire was about the only thing you could get when I was younger. There wasn't any place to get it. Walmart was your place to get fishing lines. So we'd go and buy these spools of like 50-pound test. I don't know if it was slack lining them when you'd pick it up and then thrashing, but they'd snap 50-pound test.
So we're talking about something that's of monstrous proportions.
Yeah. More than you were able to lift into the boat solo.
That's crazy. Bro, appreciate you, big dog.
Yes, sir. We'll see you, buddy.
See ya.
I fished down at Fontana Lake bass fish, crappie fish, catfish years ago when I worked for a bottle supermarket. And I found the best way. A fella told me how to catch these catfish. But on this lower end of the lake where we were at, and he used to go down there and sit on the bank and fish catch catfish. But I've heard people talk that there were some big ones down at the dam. That when the divers went down, and you know, these can be myths, they can be truths, they can be lies. It can, you know, you just never know. And lo and behold, I will not tell you a lie. Just to tell you, he's heard that they seen them, the divers seen them down there when they were inspecting the dam.
Did he say how big they were?
Huge.
Size of a Volkswagen?
Well, they were, he said, I don't know what that is, but he said it's big. Yeah, you ought to catch plenty of catfish down there.
Hopefully one the size of a Volkswagen.
Yeah, well, you better have a big rod, that's all I can tell you. How heavy a rod would you have to reel in a Volkswagen?
You know, this is not Europe. Yeah, they have 250-pound plus whales catfish. They'll get 12 foot long. Lake Fontana is no different than Lake Hartwell. Catfish as big as Volkswagens. You know, I remember when I growed up in Georgia, and I growed up probably 15 minutes from Lake Lanier. It's probably the best spotted bass fishery in the country, in my opinion. And I remember on one of them bridges, I don't remember where it was, but anyhow, there was a damn chicken truck that wrecked. And it had chickens floating and fluttering all over the water. And people talking about them damn big catfish coming sipping them like a dry fly. Bullshit. You go anywhere, any lake. You go to Lake James. There's catfish there as big as Volkswagens, I promise you, at the dam. Scare divers to death. We don't have no catfish. It's no different than, I got buddies that swear on the Holy Bible that they've got trail camera pictures of damn black panthers and shit. Lord help me. We're not in the Jungle Book. There's no Bigfoots. We live in the mountains of North Carolina. We don't live in the Iditarod Mountains or in Alaska or nothing where shit's unknown. You know. But as far as catfish as big as Volkswagens, come on now. Do you realize, like, that's like saying that's bigger than a Goliath grouper and they get huge. They're definitely not having babies as big as damn Volkswagens. There ain't no damn catfish down there that big. I can't swim, and I know that. But there's no catfish down there 20 foot long, 8 foot wide, and 2,000 pounds. No way in hell.
Today is the day we are hunting for the mythical legend. I don't know if it's actually mythical. I don't know, if it's real, if it's fake. There's controversy around it on both sides. So we're loading up. It's early in the morning. We got everything locked and loaded. We're gonna go try to catch this thing, or at least something comparable. But anyways, let's see. We just launched the boat and the dam is a few miles down to the west of us, but if there's one thing that everybody can agree on, it's that these monstrous catfish, these legendary catfish, eat brim. So we are going to slide into this creek with some fly rods, catch a couple of these brim. I'm thinking we're gonna try to catch them as big as possible. I'm thinking at least hand size, maybe just a little bit smaller. But then I've read the regulations and you technically can't use live bait on jugs for the opportunity you might catch a sport fish like a bass or a trout or a walleye or something like that. So anyways, we're gonna catch these hand-sized brim. We're gonna put them in the live well of the boat. We're gonna go down to the dam and we are going to chop them up, chum the area probably, try to bring in whatever is down there close to the boat and do it. So anyways, let's go catch some brim. Well, the dam is behind me and we are literally in 400 foot of water right now. And here's the deal. We are running what I believe is the best electronics. We've got forward-facing sonar, which is a live sonar. We have mapping up here so I can drop waypoints on maybe little discrepancies I'm seeing or whatnot in the water column. And then in the back, I've got the same mapping unit and then I've got side scan. Now, here's the deal. North Carolina and the Carolinas in general, East Tennessee, South Carolina, North Georgia, it's a place that's known for monster catfish. I mean, look at some of these fish right here. So, you know, we're right here on Fontana Lake. The entire lake, the big rivers, all the creeks, everything, they slowly come to this lower end of the lake where you have a shallow drain back behind me and then you have a deep water gate over there. So my thought is a fish of this potential caliber, like what they're talking about, would be a smart, efficient, effective eater. This fish would allow things to come to them and naturally where current flows kind of bringing everything. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take the brim. I've got some jugs right here that I prepared and we are going to put them kind of on big structure of the dam where there is some water flow. So the big gates over there, we're gonna drop a couple. I've got a couple set up for 50 foot deep and then we're gonna put them there on the shallower gates too. But I am a little bit like, man, I'm kind of nervous. Like, man, what if there is something down here that's bigger than anything anyone's ever dreamed of? Or, you know, maybe we'll catch something that's comparable, or like we could say, hey, this is like gonna be a future giant, whatever. But we are going to see what is living down there. So let's make it happen. We are at the spillway gates. Like I said, this is kind of where I could imagine a legendary giant catfish being, right? Just letting the water kind of pull dead fish and crap that they're eating to them. So we've got the jugs right here and yeah, I'm gonna hook them up. So I've got them labeled the depth they go, 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way down to 50. I'm probably gonna put the 10 and the 20 here and then 30 and then 40 and 50 down where the deep gates are. So I hear some motorcyclers on the dam. America, baby. Chuck them on out there. Bad day for that brim.
The odds of that.
Well, I just went to reach in and get another brim and my son's toy was in here and it was funny. I've never seen a plastic, not a live fish, eat a live fish. Dude, how funny is that? Put this one up next to the wall. Holy cow, dude, what is that thing down there? I'm just kidding. There we go. That one's the 50 footer. So we'll see. She's a down there. We got them laid out across the dam and we're looking for something that's mythical. You know, some people are saying this thing's a lie. Some people are saying it's real, but either way, we're rigged up. We've got 5 brim. They're not as big as I would want them to be. They're not quite as big as my hand, but they're probably a good 3/4 the size of my hand. So we'll see. We're gonna fish and see if we can check these things here in a few hours. My thought is we're gonna rebait them this evening if we don't have anything, to see what's going on, and then maybe tonight, checking them tomorrow morning, we might have what we're looking for. All right, so we are using our side scan right now. We are in 372 feet of water, literally deeper than a football field right here. And we're using side scan, and what it's doing is shooting sonar off to our sides. We're looking for something that's about 12 foot long and about 6 foot tall. So you can see it's in increments of 25 feet off to our sides. So we're looking for, honestly, a pretty big obstruction that would be up in the water column. You know, they say there is a thermocline here, which is where there's oxygen above the thermocline and there's no oxygen below the thermocline. So I couldn't imagine something living deeper than the thermocline unless there's like its own ecosystem or something, but I don't think that theory is even worth like entertaining. So we're gonna keep side scanning out here. I will say this, there have been a few giant blobs like that right there. I mean, if that's increments of 25, that's probably a 10-foot wide blob right there. But I think it's bait fish. I can tell mostly because of how scattered it is. Like when I zoom in on the pixels, it just looks grainy, which means those are little bait fish that it's picking up. I'm looking for something that's a really hard, solid blob return that the sonar is picking up. After this, we're gonna hop up on the forward-facing sonar, and we're just gonna use the forward-facing sonar and see if there's anything moving down there that's of any substance, of just pure gigantism. You know, we're seeing a lot of bass up in the water column. We've caught some bass today, but one of these true blue Freakzilla Goliaths, we're gonna see if one's swimming around. Like I said, it might be a nighttime deal. Something like that, it might just be a nocturnal creature, but we're gonna keep searching. We have 10-foot increments here and 5-foot increments there. We've got something that appears to be 10 foot tall, but it's only 5 foot wide. We're looking for something that literally spans 10 foot here, and it'll span another 10 foot there. I mean, it's essentially what it'll look like, but we've been out here just scanning around, and you can tell these are just balls of bait fish because they break up and change shape. We're obviously looking for a hard return, like I said on the side scan, same kind of deal. This is just a line of bait fish way out here. There's another big ball of bait fish. We're looking for just, I mean, something that honestly would be like the size of my thumb and really solid. And we've seen some blobs, but nothing quite like that. All right, so it is true that catfish are nocturnal feeders. So we have the jug line set, and we are gonna come back tomorrow after the night, after the nocturnal fish get their chance to feed. So we shall see if we can catch the legendary Fontana Dam monster. We've baited and rebaited and come out here multiple times and checked the jugs, and it's been honestly pretty slow, but I figured today's kind of the last day. We're gonna see if we can't check these jugs and see if there's something on them, see if we caught the mighty Fontana legend. So anyways, they're right up here. A couple are up here, but a couple are missing. Maybe they're being fought in the depths. Maybe they're blowing around. So either way, we're gonna get over here and check these boogers, see if we got something. All right, this it's pretty light, which means I think we're coming up empty-handed with this one. Oh, it is kind of heavy. It's heavier. I don't know. I feel like if there's a catfish, it'd be fighting a little harder. All right, well, I just pulled up on this and it was tangled down in debris. I could tell it wasn't a fish or anything, but that's 4 of them with absolutely nothing. There's obviously a lot of folklore about these fish, but you know, the one fella I interviewed, He talked about, just every lake has this legend, and it's like you start looking at the record books of like what people actually have caught, and 153 pounds I think is our record here in North Carolina, and there's some other 150 to 160 pound records. So it's like obviously there's giants, but Volkswagen sized, I just don't know. I just don't think so. But I will say this, we're looking for the last jug. I don't know where it is. I don't know. I think this is what I know. I didn't prove anything, but I also didn't disprove anything. I think half the fun as an outdoorsman is literally just the pursuit of the unknown, right? Sometimes it's easy for me just on an adventure where I have goals. It sucks to come up short, but then I don't know, you kind of just come to a realization that at the end of it all, it's actually more about the pursuit and the unknown and scratching that itch than anything. But am I disappointed? I mean, yeah. Will I be disappointed as an outdoorsman again over something? Of course. Have I been disappointed before? Abso-freaking-lutely. So, just got to accept defeat on this one. At the end of our lives, we will hold on to memories made with family and friends, to smiles and laughs shared with strangers, to legends and stories that inspired us to get out and enjoy God's creation. Some things are bigger than what they seem. Whether real, legend or tale, or folklore, it's about getting out there and chasing the unknown.